does return. He will be probably trying to systematically take over the stream at some point in time. He always seems to bug out. Pause coming out immediately. I think this is because NORAD is having some trouble connecting. Yeah, Nightbot kind of doesn't need any motivation. Is there a chance to get into the next game? Heal crit 117, yes sir, of course. If you want to be prepared for that, all you have to do is go into your client. In the chat room search box, you want to type LowElo, hit enter, and be in that chat, because that's where I'm going to be picking people from. It just makes it nice and easy for me to find people. And I'm always going to be prioritizing brand new people for the night over people who have already played, but if there are people who want to get into a second game, of course you're going to have a chance to get in. Just because, you know, I'd like to get the games rolling as soon as possible. And I don't want to be sitting around for 15-20 minutes waiting for, you know, 5 more new people to show up. I'd rather just have new people, or repeats come in, and then get more games in for the night. Also guys, if you're brand new, if you're just joining us, keep in mind, bring your friends, you know, tell people about it, blow us up on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. That way we can get up to that 50 viewer count and I can give away another RP card like I did last time when we hit 40. But yeah, heal crit, thank you for watching. Oh, NORAD had picked Karma as a bottom lane support, but it looks like someone else wanted to play support, so they ended up shifting to top lane. Good guy, NORAD. Gareth liking my face when I'm on EU. He didn't actually make a face though, so I don't know if that's not how that works. EU does it differently. All right, so it looks like we're finally getting to the game. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. So starting items, I'm gonna see. I'm curious as to see what Wukong starts here. I think Flask is probably a good purchase just for the sheer fact that Karma has so much ranged poke. Pause coming out again. Looks like we still have some disconnections going on here. Wukong has not moved from base, and it looks like Karma's finally getting into the game. Who won the last RP card? I had it pulled up on my Nightbot. Oh wait, no, it was... I cannot remember. I have to go look now. You've asked, so now I have to find out.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Dude, oh, it's not on Nightbot. That's right, I had switched over to use the giveaway, the little giveaway add-on, and it doesn't have a. I don't think it's got a recording. Benedict, Benny did. He's got his $10 in RP. I've got 3 more $10 RP cards. It looks like a level 1 fight breaking out already as all the bits tried to get a deep ward into the river. Dimplebrush there ends up having to flash away, but flash and exhaust burned on Tomahawk there. He did not have his pulverize, so I don't know what kind of CC he was planning on landing there. And that means that all the bits does end up walking away, so a little bit advantageous for all the bits, as having that flash down early on Alistar does reduce the amount of plays he can make, considering his natural gap close and headbutt is kind of, it's pretty reliable if you're really good at it, but at the same time it doesn't mean you can flash forward, pulverize, and knock them back into your ADC, so even if the enemy ADC flashes away, they don't really cover that much distance. The Alistar pick was a good counter to Leona, and should Leona actually land a Zenith Blade, she's going to be looking at least 3 seconds of CC and damage. It's very true of Yoshine that AoE knockup on Pulverize is devastating, combined with that little bit of damage coming out of Trample, the Alistar passive as well. It's going to be really nice. Will you marry me if I suggest good songs like One Look? No. But I will take suggestions on music. I'll try to keep track of that, and get your songs in here. Let's see. I would like to play. Come playlist next. I'm just going to play my playlist for now, though, just so I've got a rotation of songs. What I'll do is recommended songs that come in will go into will be added into my playlist, and then they have a random chance of popping up. That way I don't have to switch over to the unique song and then back to my playlist over and over again, because I don't see on Spotify if I can play a song and then queue up my playlist to play after that again. Alright, so bottom lane, a lot of poke coming down back and forth. Supernova and Lance Tao definitely going head-to-head there. It looks like a little bit of, it looks like Rek'Sai getting really low in the jungle. The first Crusader going ahead and hitting level 3 after just doing the top side of the map there. Flash coming out in the mid lane. They Call Me Jim picks up the first blood on Benedict 1-2-3 immediately. Good aggression from that bird there. Couple bit of poke in the bottom lane, so it looks like red side is definitely ahead even after that level 1 shenanigans from Alistar. So top lane, Norad Alpha going to go ahead and land the binding on Darth Roshi there, and he's going to get some decent poke, force him back to the turret. Down in the bottom lane, another Q from Ezreal lands into the face of Lance Tao, and I'm really interested to see why directed cameras got me down here. I mean, some action must be ready to break out pretty soon. What is your usual stream time? I am new here. Well, you're in luck, bud, because we're kind of new here too. Me and Nefarious just started streaming a couple weeks ago, and we're still working out how we're going to do the timing of the stream, but so far I'm thinking that we're probably going to end up doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. till about 1 a.m. That's what I'd like. That's a good schedule I'd like to run. So keep your eyes open during the week for us. Oh, the headbutt does not deny the Zenith Blade onto Lance Tao. Heal does come out after the exhaust lands on Zenith Blade. I mean, onto all the bits, and Tomahawk is going to protect his ADC very, very well there. Oh, Binding actually goes down onto the clone of Darth Roshi from NORAD Alpha, and that means he's not going to be able to see him in stealth and not be able to do any additional damage there. Darth Roshi does have that flask and actually a Doran shield as well, so he's going to be able to stay in this lane quite a long time. Another Zenith Blade lands onto Lance Tao, but not enough follow-up damage can come from Ezreal here as he is a little bit out of mana. He's not able to E in or get any additional Ws or anything. Alright. So mid lane now, it looks like a couple of auto attacks are going to come down from They Call Me Jim onto Benedict 1-2-3, but it looks like after that initial death, Benedict has made a fantastic job of coming back in terms of the farm. And he's got an 8-9 farm lead on They Call Me Jim, even though that the lane is pushing in the red side direction. What time is that in EU time? It's 5:30 Pacific time right now. So what I wanted to do is stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's 5 p.m. Pacific. EU time, I am not quite sure what that is in EU. You'll probably just have to Google it. Top lane, looks like Smite goes down onto Darth Roshi. Dark Crimson Blade might pick up the kill here. He gets the bite reset, and he's going to flash in for that last auto attack to pick up the monies. The Constable is enforcing the law there, and Wukong was caught in lane without a permit. Caught in lane without a permit. Alright, I want to make sure I've got my stream up to so I can see the current viewer count. Bottom lane, Headbutt actually ends up putting all the bits under turret. Lance Tao is a little bit squeamish as he doesn't want to fully commit here and end up dying to some of this Ezreal damage. Both sides end up backing up, and that's going to mean that we're not going to get too much action here. This is a fantastic time for Trundle to show up into the bottom lane, but he's still in the base after ganking top lane. He also doesn't have the flash up, so it's going to be a little bit slow once he shows up. Benedict in the mid lane, once again getting a Ignite. The last auto attack is going to seal his fate, and that's going to be a second kill for the bird in the mid lane. They Call Me Jim doing a fantastic job on Anivia. The first Crusader will show up, do a little bit of damage to They Call Me Jim, but I don't think he can actually close out this kill, except They Call Me Jim follows him into the jungle, and that's going to mean he's going to get his egg popped. It is going to be the bait, though, as he does take a significant amount of minion damage and then gets smited out by Trundle in the very end. It looks like my smoke detector in my laundry room is still going crazy. Top lane Darth Roshi is very low as he's got to back up off this turret. NORAD Alpha does have that teleport used most recently. Actually, no. Yeah, most recently, so that's why the sustain is in the advantage of Alpha there. They Call Me Jim's going to push that wave out and then just head back to base. Katarina is still doing a fantastic job of keeping up in farm despite the deaths. The end of the stream would be 1 AM USA time. He's saying that it starts for you at 1 AM, so if the math is correct on that, then it starts for you, or it ends for you 6 AM? Dude, that's pretty crazy hours. Mid lane, Benedict actually goes in, starts spinning with Death Lotus. Actually, the Zenith Blade will land on They Call Me Jim. Benedict is really hungry for this kill. The auto attack will take him out, though. They Call Me Jim does take an Ignite from Leona, and that's going to pick up the kill there. Good roam from all the bits, and that's going to produce a little bit of gold lead, a little bit of gold swing back in his team's favor there. Top lane NORAD Alpha comes back to lane just in time to pick up some of this farm underneath the turret as Darth Roshi has finished pushing. Interesting build path coming out from Froshi there. He's got a Sapphire Crystal and a Longsword. It makes me think that he wants to get a Sheen as well as maybe a Phage or Tiamat. Possibly going for a Trinity Force later in the game, but either way, it seems like he wants to go for a higher damage build. Top lane, Darth Roshi going all in on NORAD Alpha. The ultimate not doing quite nearly enough damage to NORAD to take him out, and he's going to have to back up after using that ultimate. NORAD with a fantastic build path here. He's got his Seeker's Arm Guard, and that reduces so much damage. Good pillar from Dark Crimson Blade. It's going to mean that Darth Roshi has to walk all the way around the entire pillar there after getting denied his walking path. Oh, man. Bottom lane, Tomahawk 3 flashes in. Supernova actually Essen shifts out before he can get knocked back. And now all the bits is very deep in the enemy team. Actually ends up walking around the backside of the turret there. The True Shot Barrage clipping Lance Tao in the butt there. Taking a good chunk of damage down. Oh my goodness, these jokes in the chat. Too funny. Too funny, 3 me. 3 funny, 5 me, 6 funny, 7 me? I don't know. Mid lane, Benedict actually getting a little bit shoved in as Anivia's got the ball rolling. The Morellonomicon, which I think is the pro player's choice in terms of mana regen items right now, has already been completed even before the 10-minute mark. All the bits looking like he wants to go in on a fight once again here in the bottom lane. His ulti is not quite back up, but he can still do significant damage. Yeah, he brews it. Mid lane, Benedict taking a chunk of health from the Anivity abilities there. Zap misses on the bottom lane. So right now it's 11 minutes, no one has made a move towards this dragon yet. What I would say is you want to start playing off this Anivia if you're red side. Get one of these kills down on Katarina, roam down with Trundle and Anivia, and then 2-man this this dragon fairly easily. You do have the ward coverage that you can get with a couple wards. Trundle has not picked up a sweeper yet, but he's going to want to be able to do that very, very soon, and then you can just knock it over really, really easily. Really, really easily. Okay. So Anivia heading back to base here. I'm curious to see what she's going to pick up as her next item, but up in the top lane, Darth Roshi once again all-ins against NORAD Alpha. That ultimate just not producing the results he's looking for, and he's just going to have to end up walking away for all these ults. He might want to start using that ultimate on Anivia in the mid lane and roaming down to bottom lane. Dark Crimson Blade shows up and puts down another fantastic pillar after Ezreal shifts away, and he's going to use that, turn back around, bite all the bits one time. It's not going to do nearly enough damage. Pops the ultimate on all the bits to steal some of the stats and get some of the healing. Tomahawk is now in a hard spot as Benedict shows up, starts spinning, but it looks like the Alistar ultimate's going to have enough reduction to keep him alive there. The first Crusader bottom lane actually ends up going underneath the turret. He's looking for the knockup. The slow is going to keep Trundle alive. He's going to walk away. They Call Me Jim shows up at the tail end of the fight here. Now it's 4v2. Though Trundle kind of needs to walk away. He's looking like he's just a bit of bait here. Oh! Good jump, ward jump over the wall from Katarina will produce a kill for her. Now with so many people in the bottom lane, you'd think that blue team might want to try to go for this dragon. The early dragon is how you snowball your team in this new meta. Oh my goodness, They Call Me Jim picking up yet another kill from this Anivia. I think that Blasting One is possibly going to turn into a Rabbanon's death cap considering how far ahead he is right now. He's just going to snowball that damage out so he can pretty much one-shot anybody. Alright, so it looks like blue team's trying to... They're thinking about going for this dragon, but at the same time they know that red side's in the area here, so they're going to have to back up off of it. Their jungler is nowhere to be found as well, so it's not very good that they kind of pulled that out and drew attention to it, not without their Rek'Sai. So what they're going to end up doing is kind of just watching this happen, and Katarina looks like she wants to jump this wall and possibly get a steal, but I don't know if she can beat the smite. No, it does not happen. Darth Froshi jumps the wall, does not get hit by the flame chompers, and he's instead going to just watch the enemy team go away. Flash wasted from Wukong there. So, first Crusader looking like he wants to make a gank here, but he's actually going to end up walking directly into Dark Crimson Blade. Ward goes over the wall. He now has to find a way to escape there. His tunnel must have been off cooldown. He ended up popping up out of the ground there. What I would have done is just jump the wall with the tunnel and stayed burrowed. It's alright though. I don't think that the dive on this Alistar lane is something that you want to try to pull off anyway. Yes, the Leona ultimate will add a significant amount of damage to your burst potential, but just having one AoE pulverize, oh my goodness, that snowball actually lands anyway, despite Benedict trying to jump out of it. Norad walks up at just the proper time to pick up the last hit on that kill there and guarantee it. Now Katarina is investing in some MR. Might be too late though, you're very, very right. The CC reduction that's probably going to come out of what looks like, I think maybe Merc Treads would be pretty nice for preventing some of these stuns that are happening from this Anivia. And the damage reduction will help, but just the amount of sheer damage that's coming out of Anivia is so much that I think that she's better off kind of pushing the lane as much as she can in mid lane and getting some of that XP, staying as far away from Anivia as she can, and then roaming to one of these side lanes to try to produce these kills. Yeah, it is just too late for that MR. A lot of tunnels ending up in the blue side base here, as Rek'Sai is just using them to get out into the jungle more quickly, but at the same time, there's not nearly enough in his own jungle to be able to move between the camps quickly enough. Bottom lane does have a tunnel in their side lane brush as well. He wants to use that for some gank potential, or counter gank potential, and they are doing a very good job of defending that spot as well. Norad Alpha with the top lane is making sure that Darth Froshi has to stay in place here. The clone goes down, but it's not going to matter as that tether does grant vision. In the jungle here, Dark Crimson Blade 1v1 against the first Crusader, but he is just so far ahead that there's nothing that can be done, and he gets destroyed immediately. Alright, so Anivia makes a big play, yep. These things happen. bottom lane, Lance Teo now is able to push down this turret with Tomahawk. The attack speed that's coming out of this Gatling gun is just doing fantastic work. That's going to be knocked over very, very easily. Right now, it looks like red side is just in such a strong position. Top lane, NORAD Alpha, 1v1 versus the First Crusader. The First Crusader just does not have the damage or tankiness. Oh my goodness. I might need to start turning off my chat during this. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. There we go. Because it's just too distracting. Alright, so what do we need to see right now in order to make sure that this game ends up in a good position for red, or for blue to make a comeback? Blue definitely needs some ward coverage here, as we see in the bottom lane. Dark Crimson Blade is able to just walk up right away to this bottom lane and just lay down a whole bunch of hatred. All the bits is in a tight spot. Actually, a zap gets blocked by one of the minions there, so the slow will not land from Lance Teo. Dark Crimson Blade should have his pillar back up in about a second here, and that's going to allow them to catch all the bits. Ezreal actually turns around to throw out the True Shot Barrage, but that will make sure that he dies. Zap comes out from Lance Teo once again. Benedict 123 is looking to pick up this kill. He does nab it at the very tail end there, and Dragon will be spawning in about a minute and 5 seconds. Stun comes down from Anivia, and the Icicle will destroy the First Crusader right away. Ignite actually in the very tail end of that play will pick up Katarina. No, it will not. What? The Snowball of Truth actually comes out, and it's going to just destroy the dreams of Cat underneath her own turret. Oh, man. We broke the stream, OMG. I don't see it. Wasn't Benedict being toxic the other day? I do not remember. We did have a DC. But I don't remember Benedict being toxic. I remember him winning some stuff. Oh, I don't mean, when I said I was going to turn off the chat, I meant in-game chat, because people keep trying to whisper me while I'm casting, and that's just not something that's healthy. So people have no regard for, when you're streaming. They do not care. But blue buff picked up by Karma in the top lane, just stealing it away from blue side there, and now that's something that Rek'Sai is not going to be able to grab. Rek'Sai severely far behind. He's opted to pick up the Trailblazer instead of the chilling smite from the blue enchant there. Oh, Nefarious Giraffe shows up. Hello, sir. Hello, hello. So it looks like Dark Crimson Blade is going to go ahead and take away this dragon here. Now Benedict is caught in a bad spot. The pillar did go down and slow him down just enough for DCB to be able to land his Bork on him. All the bits now caught right here with this Anivia. Those Flame Chompers are not going to land on anybody, but it looks like Ezreal is just going to shift over the wall and get out of there. Ezreal opting to get the Trinity Force first, meaning he's going to have a lot of mobility. And it's a good damage item for Ezreal to get, considering that all of his abilities are kind of mixed damage, mixed scaling. I'm not racist if I'm mean to everyone. I don't know. He disrespects equal. Mid lane, they call me Jim, is just in control of this turret so much. No one wants to walk up to him, and he's got the Death Cap and the Morellonomicon. The damage is too high. No, Feroci says, screw it. I have no regard for my own life. Dives into the middle in between, stealths out at the very end. Benedict 123 not able to pick up the kill on DCB and get the reset, so he's going to be able to walk away from that one and probably heal up off this red buff. All the bits ends up in the middle of 3 of the red side and gets headbutted to safety, actually. So now he's going to kind of just walk around here. I'd say get that ward down there. NORAD Alpha needs to be pushed off this top lane turret. And honestly, red side can continue the siege. What? Supernova shifts into Trundle, gets ulted. And I think borked as well. Let me check his items. Is it on cooldown? No, he actually didn't even get borked. Wow. But it just dies. Oh my goodness, the snowball hits like a brick. It's an ice ball. That's just cheating. That's not fair. Don't play like that with your friends. Top lane NORAD Alpha following up on Darth Roshi underneath the turret. They call me Jim. Good wall to lock out the first Crusader from retreating, and that means he's probably going to die here. It looks like They Call Me Jim gets popped into his passage, but as all the bits is just stuck in between three of the red team. Darth Roshi shows up a little bit late for the end of the fight, and that rocket from Jinx will not hit. Lance Teo and the rest of red side now are just going to force up this top lane turret. They've got a good-sized minion wave here. They could possibly get some good damage down on it. And my smoke detector in my apartment is just going crazy in the background. Alright, so red side's in a good position here. You know what? Looking at this map now, there are like no wards. There's a single pink ward down here, a single blue ward here, and 2 wards up near the blue buff, but those don't really mean anything. Right now, you need wards around that Baron pit, because that's going to be the next contested objective, I think, especially with the amount of damage that red team does in close quarters with this Anivia and Jinx combo. Like, you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you know exactly when red side's going for that dragon or Baron buff, so you can either try to interrupt it or try to make a play somewhere on the map for something else. Because at this point, even trading that Baron buff or an outer turret, some sort of gold, you need some gold on your side, or else you're just going to keep getting destroyed. Yeah, this Wukong is going for that Trinity Force still. I mean, he started the game out early. I pointed out where he had Sapphire Crystal and Longsword, and he wanted to go Trinity, but honestly, he needs some resilience against this this Karma, or literally anyone on the enemy team. They all do so much damage. They Call Me Jim is just the bane of the enemy team's existence here. He's 15-1-3, doing a fantastic job of making sure he snowballs his lead out of control. But now red team's looking for a pick in the enemy jungle. They know that there's not much ward coverage, even though they are standing on that single ward that's in there. Alright. So once again, looks like red side wants to try pushing up on one of these turrets. They've decided to rotate down and take this inner turret on the bottom lane. And that's probably a good move. It's a nice, easy, safe turret to take. They are splitting up a bit. Oh my goodness, They Call Me Jim literally just 3-shots Ezreal immediately, as he's got not a single tank item under his belt, considering he's the ADC. And now DCB with his increased attack speed and biting ability is just going to knock over that turret. They Call Me Jim is just ruthless. And it doesn't even matter at this point. The MR is just, he's already got the Void Staff, so anyone who builds magic resist at this point against They Call Me Jim, it's too little, too late. This is pretty big. Top lane Darth Roshi is in a fight against Dark Crimson Blade underneath his own turret. He does spin to try to push him away, but Benedict gets bound by Karma and now has to walk away. NORAD Alpha taking a little bit of tower shots there. Bottom lane, the first Crusader does use his tunnel underneath the ground to try to... Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, They Call Me Jim is just destroying people in the middle of their own base. Ulti goes down on the bottom side, but it looks like more kills are to be had in the enemy base. Supernova picks up a kill with the True Shot Barrage, but ends up getting taken down by They Call Me Jim anyway. Tomahawk 3 is now in the middle of a fight with the first Crusader and all the bits trying to get away from this fight as quickly as possible. Now that the ultimate is down from Tomahawk, he's going to be an easy pickup for the first Crusader. But while this is all happening, his entire base is getting taken out, man. There's not going to be much that blue side can do as soon as these, once these inhibitors are down, especially the 2 of these on the top side of the map. It's going to be really hard to mount a comeback. Just almost impossible. Alright, so Looks like this game's probably wrapping up here pretty soon, as all the elements have been put in place for Red Side to easily close out this game. They have two different options here as to what they can do. They can either go for the Baron, which is honestly really unneeded, as is the next Dragon. They need to optimize the amount of uptime they have on the downed inhibitors of the enemy team and just start sieging up on this bottom turret. They've got enough wave clear from Anivia and zone control out of that as well. Poke between her and Karma and Anivia as well, and then just long-range sieging potential out of Jinx that can just easily take out that turret. If they get in a pickle, they have fantastic peel coming out of the Anivia wall and Alistar as well. They're so far ahead at this time that really it's just up to them to close it out. Oh my goodness, the icicle. It stabs so hard. Why Anivia? Why you stab so hard? Supernova is brave though, walks up and, you know, dares to throw out a few abilities at this Anivia, flapping her wings in, flying to the south. Anivia decides, you know what, I'll take you guys on 1v3, picks up a kill onto Supernova, goes golden mode, and that's going to be the surrender from blue side. So what happened